Today, I'm going to talk about auto-adaptive systems and how we're actually using it to change the game for marketplace management. But first, what does auto-adaptive mean? So auto-adaptive refers to the capability of automatically reacting to respond to real-world conditions and user interactions on the fly. This means that systems learn from fast feedback loops in order to react to change with minimal human intervention. So, I think we have all been here. We've all been here for the past 1.5 days listening to talks about AGI, ASI, robotics, decentralized AI. Today, I'm going to change it up a little bit. I'm going to talk about babies. Yes, babies. And the reason for this is because I think the best way to explain auto-adaptive systems is actually by telling you my personal story about becoming a mom, which I think some of you can relate to, or becoming a parent. So, after my first, before I had kids in the first place, I always thought about how wonderful it would be to have a kid. But, after 9 long months and then 24 hours in labor, out popped this little intelligent life, which filled us with warm, fuzzy vibes. But over the next few days and weeks and months, it's pretty much an endless cycle of feeding, changing diapers, rocking the baby, putting the baby to bed, and then everything starts again, right? So then I thought to myself, oh, this little baby is really high maintenance. And one day, my husband and I were just sitting there at the restaurant, observing this older child, right? And this older child was pretty much sitting there, entertaining herself, feeding herself. And then he looked at me and asked, when can we have an autonomous baby? It's pretty awesome to see my baby big size here on the screen. But we did see signs of his intelligence, right? Something that was inherent and slowly growing. How to, crawl, how to walk, how to grasp your finger, how to eat. And then we realized, as any parent, right, would, how can we help him learn faster? How can we help him to develop towards all he can be, right? So how do we try to do that? First, we exposed him to different environments, different textures, different tastes, different smells. We showed him different pictures and read him books, right? Brought him to the zoo and the parks. We wanted to provide him with all the various information he needed about the world and to help him consolidate the information and interpret it. Next, as he grew, we taught him by providing him continual feedback. And as I think a lot of parents know, feedback has to be pretty immediate. We also tried to teach him better and more optimal strategies, right, for his decisions. For example, he can have 1 raisin now, but, if he eats his dinner and has his bath, he can have 3 raisins, right? And so he learns to make better decisions next time. And finally, we also let him experiment by himself, right? So he learns the consequences of his own actions. So, for example, he learned very quickly that he should ask for ice cream from his daddy instead of his mommy. And all this is done, right, while, we have to keep a close eye on what he's doing, right, to correct him if his choices really go out of whack. So, this is essentially our way of creating an auto-adaptive kid, right? And I think it's every parent's hope that he'll be a well-functioning adult as he grows up, someone who is resilient with change, continually makes good choices in life, and hopefully at the end of the day, contributes to make the world a better place. And, gives his parents some breathing space as he, takes that path of growth into independence. Well, Grab is not in the business of producing babies, last I checked. But we are in the business of producing other types of intelligence, namely AI models, right, to drive the smarts behind our services and our operations. But different to having kids, we not only have 1 or 2 models, not just 10 or 20, but we actually have more than 1,000 AI models powering our services and our operations today. Imagine if, similar to a child, right, we can help them learn faster, better, and keep at their optimal performance at all times. This is exactly what auto-adaptive systems are about. So the problem today is this. We live in a very dynamic world, right? We have seen a lot of volatile changes in the past few years, for example, COVID, and that has really changed, a lot of marketplace dynamics. It has changed user behavior, and also, in some cases, marketplace regulations. And there are also, always, more gradual sort of like shifts in behavior and in the marketplace that we will see continuously. So we cannot really wait to adapt because that would be too late. We have to constantly adapt as we see the change. To keep our systems operating at optimal, at this optimal performance through various scenarios, right? In order to provide the best possible experience, for our consumers, our driver partners, our merchant partners, given the constraints, right, at any point in time. So how do we do this? I think there are three key components, similar to how we bring up our child. First, like how we aim to expose our child with accurate knowledge that tells us about the world. We have built a signals marketplace, right? Unified data pipelines that stream a variety of real-time attributes as well as metrics to our systems continuously, right? Through a variety of incoming data, so it allows our systems to sense make more accurately. For example, if you have rain data and you have rain images, you're pretty sure that in the area it is raining. At the same time, it also ensures data reliability, right? Through capturing data lineage, data certification, data contracts, and also remediation, if there's data failure. So this allows our systems to have robust and accurate information, right, in real time about the state of the environment, as well as the performance of our models. And also it gives us up-to-date features for online inference across all our systems. Second, similar to how we need to help a child to learn from continual feedback, we're also helping our models learn from continual feedback, right? So this allows us to effectively use strategies like online learning, essentially constantly retraining, updating our model parameters in real time, and reinforcement learning, allowing models to learn and based on the feedback it's receiving through experimentation, for example, through user response to an intervention that we have. So, and then thirdly, similar to how we let our children push boundaries to learn, we have provided the infrastructure and the tools to let our models learn from adaptive experimentation. So unlike traditional A/B models, or A/B testing, where we pretty much experiment just once or twice before rollout, we use machine learning to actually automate the repeated design of experiments, both selecting the variants and also learning from previous experiments in a sequential way. So this pretty much massively scales our ability to experiment across numerous configurations, which will otherwise take a long time via traditional methods. So this approach essentially enables our models to continually test new parameters in a live environment on small populations, so we can compare response and select the best and most effective parameters. These new parameters can then be automatically deployed without any formal deployment process. We have also built a lot of simulation tools to support safe experimentation through two ways. First, by bootstrapping our production experiments, and second, to actually run these experiments in a simulated environment. So this mitigates risk of negative config exposure, and it helps our models learn and eventually converge faster to the optimal performance in production. And like any good parent, we have to make sure that everything is wrapped in automated pipelines with a high level of observability, so we can stop things if things go out of whack. And as they say, it takes a village to raise a kid. To enable auto-adaptive systems, it requires really a suite of platforms and modules coming together to make this happen. So teams across Grab have worked together to enable this. So auto-adaptive AI systems power diverse use cases in Grab, right? Augmenting our ability to solve problems for our consumers, our driver partners, and merchant partners throughout the ecosystem. It touches every part of our product, from marketplace management to – keeping you safe on the ride, or personalized food recommendations. Let me share with you briefly, how we embedded AI specifically to automate marketplace management, right? Which is one of the domains where we have actually applied auto-adaptive systems at scale. We started with the goal of delivering optimal marketplace outcomes across all scenarios, right? Through auto-adaptive and self-calibrating levers. Grab is currently available in 8 countries and 700 plus cities. So one of the big benefits of this automation is that it enables us to manage the marketplace at scale and efficiently, right, across our diverse set of markets. But first, what does marketplace management entail, right? Essentially, it's the suite of levers and adjusting those levers that enable you to get a ride or for your food order to be fulfilled. So this includes things like estimated times of arrivals, pricing, driver earnings, batching, driver supply positioning, as well as driver allocation. So for each of these levers, right, they have various engineering and AI components to allow them to function effectively. And similar to the stages of a self-driving car, right, the journey towards marketplace automation has different stages, right, from stage 0, no automation or full manual control, to maybe stage 1, where the models are dynamic, but they're pretty much rule-based, and the configurations are still very manual. Moving up the chain, we actually have AI models that are dynamic, the configs as well are adaptive, and finally, to reach full automation, right, our systems must not only be able to react to standard business-as-usual scenarios, but also to special scenarios, which refer to more rare marketplace shocks. So what are we doing to achieve this transformation? First, for each lever, we have enhanced our AI and decision models towards adaptiveness, right? Each having their own feedback loops and enabled platform support via our Signals marketplace, our simulators, and our adaptive experiments. Then we transformed that interface with the marketplace operators, right? Streamlining the set of controls, right? From a huge set of granular configs to a smaller set of high-level business-related configurations, right? So that provides sort of like the safe bounds for which our automation is free to optimize and to operate. And then we layered on extensive observability, right, at various levels, at model level, at lever level, at product metric level, at marketplace metric level, so that we can detect and correct if our automation is not working effectively. So we duplicated this, of course, across levers, and then we provided a unified control interface, as well as automation observability suite. So we have one common interface to look across all levers. So as you know, I think marketplace levers are very, very much interacting with each other, right? Supply planning affects allocation, allocation affects pricing. So this really enables us to observe and understand their interactions and provide the necessary orchestration. So that is the big transformation they have made today, and we are continuing to expand and increase coverage across our marketplace systems as well as across our markets. So what does that mean in the future when it rains and more people start booking rides or making orders and our driver supply drops because drivers go offline or there's traffic congestion? You now know that our automated marketplace systems have detected the rain, have detected actually have the real-time demand and supply signals, and it knows the changes as well in booking and driver behavior. And what it's doing is pretty much adjusting internally, right, to change how it's allocating, how it's batching, how it's incentivizing driver supply, and how it's pricing, in order to do the best that it can, right, to fulfill your ride or your order within the constraints of poor external conditions. So imagine a world where we can respond automatically to change, right, with necessary oversight but minimal human intervention, knowing that our auto-adaptive systems are supporting us with time-consuming manual work and are essentially doing it more effectively than we can do ourselves. Well, the future is here with auto-adaptive systems. Thanks, everyone.